You know that feeling when a friend asks, should I drop a few $100 on a new gaming laptop or wait for the next upgrade? I've been there a lot lately, scrolling through specs, trying to picture the machine on a cramped desk, worrying if the heat will ruin the nightstand, and wondering if I'm really getting a bang for the buck. If you're sitting on the same fence, the MSI Thin 15 is the one that keeps popping up in the forums, so I dug into what it actually delivers in real-world use. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about why the thin label matters. The chassis is about as sleek as you'll find in a gaming notebook, and that matters if you're moving between a coffee shop, a dorm room, and a couch-side gaming session. It's not a brick you have to haul in a backpack, but it's also not a featherweight tablet that you can slip into a pocket. The 15.6-inch FHD IPS panel hits 144 Hz, which on paper sounds like a dream for fast shooters. In practice, it means you'll see smoother motion in titles like Valorant or Apex, but only if you're actually able to push the frame rate past 144 frames per second on the settings you like. With the RTX 4068 GB GPU, most modern games sit comfortably around 60 to 100 frames per second at high settings at 1080p. And you'll see a real benefit in the smoother cursor and UI animations that the 144 Hz panel provides, even when you're not maxing out the graphics. The heart of the machine is a 13th Gen Intel i5-13420H. It's an Octa-core chip that, despite the i5 badge, actually outpaces many older i7 models you'll see in previous gen laptops. When I ran a couple of popular titles, Cyberpunk 2077 on media high settings and Elden Ring on high, the CPU never became a bottleneck. What you'll notice is that the laptop feels responsive when you're juggling a game, Discord, and a browser tab with a guide. The 16 GB of DDR5 RAM and a 512 GB NVMe SSD add to that fluid feel. Loading screens are quick, and the OS boots in under a minute. If you're the type who keeps a bunch of mods or large game libraries, the SSD will fill up faster than you expect, so you might need an external drive or a larger internal upgrade down the line. Now, let's get into the daily grind. For a gamer who also uses the laptop for school, streaming, or content creation, the port selection is a quiet win. 3 USB-A 3.2 ports give you room for a mouse, a headset, and maybe an external hard drive without fighting over a hub. The USB-C 3.2 port supports data and power, so you can hook a fast external SSD or charge the laptop with a compatible charger. HDMI 2.0 can push a 4K signal at 30 Hz, which is handy if you want to dock the machine to a TV for couch gaming sessions. The RJ45 Ethernet port is a surprise in a thin laptop, and it's a lifesaver if you're in a place where Wi-Fi is spotty or you need a stable low-latency connection for competitive play. One practical weakness shows up when you test the keyboard under prolonged typing or gaming. The backlit keys are nicely spaced, but the travel is shallow, which many gamers accept, yet if you're used to a deeper, more tactile feel, you might find it less satisfying after a few hours. The 720p webcam is adequate for a quick video call, but it won't hold up if you plan to do serious streaming or face-to-face tutoring. The speakers are high-res audio on the spec sheet, but in a typical room they sound tinny, so you'll probably reach for headphones anyway. Heat is another hidden trade-off. The thin chassis means the fans spin up noticeably under load, and you'll hear a low whirring during extended sessions. The laptop stays warm to the touch, and on a lap it can become uncomfortable after an hour or two. Using a cooling pad mitigates the issue, but it does add an extra accessory you didn't think about when you first saw the spec sheet. So, who should actually buy the MSI Thin 15? If you're a college student or a young professional who wants a capable gaming machine that can double as a work laptop, this is a solid middle ground. The combination of a strong CPU, a capable RTX 4060, and a high refresh screen gives you the ability to game at 1080p with settings that look great, while still handling spreadsheets, video calls, and photo editing without a noticeable lag. The thin profile and decent battery life, around 5 to 6 hours of mixed use, mean you won't be tethered to a wall outlet all day, which is a plus for anyone who moves around campus or works from cafes. Conversely, If you're an sports level competitor who craves the absolute highest frame rates, or if you need a workstation that can churn through 4K video renders for hours on end, you might be better off looking at a larger, more thermally robust laptop with a